What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 20. Woo! So that's
How did we make it this far?
What? I know,
How
right?
did
And
this
it's like,
occur? That is all the fingers, yours and mine.
yes. Oh, wait, there we go. Boom.
All of them.
Yeah, so episode 20. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching it later, no worries. Comment down below what you thought of the different things we've covered on this episode. We do have a live chat going. So if you're joining us live, we will see you in the live chat. And we're going to be getting into a few things. This episode, we'll be talking. We have an unboxing. We got spring anime, Ranking of Kings. And we're going to let you know what anime we'll be covering next.
Yeah.
Well, first off, we should probably introduce ourselves. I'm
Maybe.
Katie. Very happy
I'm
to have
Katie
you
Cullen.
here.
I'm
Yay!
Katie Cullen. We have a good time.
Yes, we have all kinds of fun on this Monday evening or whenever you're watching this.
Trying to shake off that big Monday energy, you know?
Right. Or give you that energy for the rest of your week. That could be the other way to think of it.
I was going to say that the Monday energy is an option. So it's like,
Yes.
no, we're going to lighten things up. We're going to go a little
Yes.
nuts. Let's have some fun.
We got the live chat going. We got Giga
Yeah.
Derek. Hello, humans. Hello.
Hello, fellow human.
Then we have.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah.
I don't have a skateboard.
I recently went on a trip with family, and they're, it's older family members of me, like, and they got lost a lot, and so I had a group text. It was just like, I can't take you kids anywhere, and it's just funny because I'm clearly the kid, but it was like, all right, y'all. They ended up okay, but it was pretty funny.
Good.
Like, ugh.
right.
Tegan says, fading fast. If I don't make it tonight, just know that these episodes usher in a major shift in the show to its next arc. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of figured when we got the OP change.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We got that opening change, and it's like, oh,
yep.
Oh, so we're definitely going to talk about that.
Glad you made it. Yes. I mean, it's Monday energy, sometimes just, yeah.
It's been, for those who are not in LA, it's been raining all day. So not only is it Monday energy, it is rainy Monday energy, and I had to go out in it. So that was
Also, I'd say in defense of California, it doesn't rain that often. So yes, rain is a big deal.
Yeah. People watching this from Seattle, like, so what? Like, well, a little different.
It's a little bit different for us. Yes. Alrighty. So let's get into, in a way, this is tied together, that things we're excited about, but a big one of those, well, I don't know. You guys like gifts, or both are a gift because we're going to box a thing and we'll be talking about new anime, but let's
do all our news and then let's do the unboxing. Let's do all our news first.
Let's do it. So things that we're excited about. Some news is tied into the spring anime because if you are unaware, there will be some changes coming your way via Crunchyroll. So Katie, take it away.
Yes, this was posted on Crunchyroll support forums about 4 days ago, and they are making changes to ad-supported viewing. Essentially, if you want simulcast episodes, you no longer get them a week later for free. It is essentially subscription or nothing for the spring slate and for continuing anime from the fall and winter slates. There will still be, it looks like there's still going to be stuff in the back catalog available for free. And they are going to have 3 episodes from a number of shows from the spring slate. They'll do the first 3 episodes for free, and then the rest are behind a paywall. So, kind of like Peacock does it. And yeah, that is the change. The change is that people who do ad-supported viewing are not going to get the VOD a week later. They're just not going to get it at all.
So
starting this, yeah, the lower third is a bit disingenuous for this one.
This is true.
We'll take that for a second. Yeah. This is more just news than things we're excited about. Personally, I can't say I'm thrilled. I still plan on maintaining my subscription, but that is because I can afford it. I am fortunate enough to be in a job that allows me to have nice things. I don't think this, to me, feels like a decision made by Sony executives, because those who are not aware, Crunchyroll is owned by Sony Pictures Entertainment, which is, huge media conglomerate. This feels like it was a decision made by someone who is not in touch with how this works and the culture. And my worry is that it's going to drive piracy, which again, we do not support piracy here. We're like, don't. But also, there are people who want to watch new shows who can't afford a subscription. And for people in that bracket, it's not a matter of, oh, just cut the Starbucks out of your life. Like, no, that's bad financial advice. Stop that. So,
if you just stop
Yeah.
having avocado toast, you can buy a new
yeah,
house.
you can own a house. I'm like, well, I'm sorry that
No.
my $2.5 million of avocado toast ruined
Yeah.
my chances of owning a house in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Anyway, this decision feels a little out of touch. I can't say I agree. And I'm hoping that after a certain point that they will look at the analytics, look at what's happened, and possibly adjust course for the better.
I do appreciate that they're keeping the older titles still available because
That's
some
fair.
people aren't as excited. They're not like, I have to see the newest thing. But it is unfortunate in the way of, I know when I've told people about like, oh, you can go watch it on Crunchyroll. You can do it for free. You just have to do ads, and that is a nice way to get people in, because if you really like it, you'll you
Yeah.
know, you will eventually pay for it. But it's nice to have it as a free option for people sampling, and that is also not looking at directly how much people can afford it or not. That's also another argument. But the idea of bringing in new people, it's nice to have that sample of it, which I hope they then still continue a 30 or plus longer at least trial to check it
Yeah.
out, see how you like it. I too am curious how this will affect viewership going forward. But yes, we wanted to let you all know about that. So if you have the free subscription, or you just watch for the ads,
Yeah.
that will be changing. Was there a date mentioned, or the spring lineup?
They're saying it's for the
coming
spring
soon.
slate, so
Yeah.
essentially
Next
this
month or
week.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind that next month is Friday.
It's a couple days away.
I know,
It's like,
right? March just
no.
kind of didn't happen.
Yeah,
But
March
yeah,
was like,
no.
Yep.
Next month is Friday.
Yep.
April 1st is Friday. And that's
And
no
not
fooling.
just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, just
That's for reals. Yes.
I think we all kind of went, oh my God, what happened? What day is it? Where did March go? March was
Yeah.
weird. March was weird. So yeah,
wow.
that starts with the spring slate. I don't know when the cutoff date is for the ongoing winter slate that's still going. Like, I don't know when that subscription cutoff date is. It wasn't, I don't think it was in this posting. I'm going to double check. But
I would say, standard, go follow Crunchyroll online for all official announcements and everything to be up to date. And if you want more information, visit crunchyroll.com. Yeah, because we roll with the punches. You know what? We're still very grateful that the anime is so accessible nowadays. But this is a little bit of a bummer, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah, and it doesn't look like we have a date for when there will be cutoff for the ongoing winter slate, when this is going to be put into effect.
Yeah.
We did say that the first 3 episodes of some of the spring slate are going to be free. That is only until May 31st. And after that, it will be behind the paywall.
All right, so be on the lookout, everybody. Yes, true that. Tengen says, beware of April Fool's jokes related to anime announcements on Friday.
Yeah, I'm just not going to trust anything that happens on Friday.
They're not funny.
And for people who announce marriages, pregnancies, breakups, etc. on April Fools, just like as jokes, just like, don't.
I'd say very, very, very rarely have I ever seen a joke or a prank where I'm like, oh, that's actually funny, because it's most people are like super bummed that's not true, or you're just like, okay, nobody after is like, oh, that was a good one, you got me. Like,
this is what makes me miss Think Geek, because they would put up fake products for April Fools, and they had unicorn meat in a can, like Spam. It was hysterical.
Okay.
It was just great.
I was about to say, I'm like, wait, maybe people like them. And I'm like, nope, no, I don't need to eat a unicorn.
No, just stuff like, and Think Geek no longer exists, unfortunately, but here we are. But yeah, like, that's funny, honestly.
Yes.
The fake products and the weird off the wall stuff, like, I enjoy that. I enjoy the Rick rolls. I don't enjoy the screamers.
Yep. Well, then transitioning back to things that we are excited about. New anime coming your way, spring season. Speaking of that,
Yes.
so this is a really big, there'll be 50 new and returning seasons to Crunchyroll. And remember, was the Funimation into Crunchyroll merger. So
So
go
it's
check
all
out
that.
Crunchyroll
Yep.
for all the new stuff. I will jump ahead real quick to say one of the ones that's coming back that I am very excited for is Rise of the Shield Hero Season 2. It's, if you have not watched the show, it's, my only suggestion is stick with it, because for my viewing, there are some things that are so frustrating because of what's happening, not like what the show does, but just like what's happening in the story to some characters, but it pays off. So it's okay. And I don't feel that's a spoiler to tell you that, because it's one of those, if someone had told me that, I probably would have relaxed a lot more, because I was just watching like, I just really hate what is happening. And then you're just like, okay, thank goodness. So how it ends, it's like, ooh, when are we getting a season 2? So that's coming out real soon. I'm going to scroll and see if I find a date.
They did list it they have all sorts of dates listed. April 6th.
Yes, there it is.
looks like.
Thank you. I was like, it was
Yep.
down here somewhere.
And they're
But
also
I'm excited
advertised.
for
Oh,
that one.
go ahead.
Yes. Anyway, if you're a Rise of the Shield Hero fan, let me know. Comment down below. They also, like, I think it was like 2 to 3 anime expos ago, Crunchyroll had a fun like little exhibit thing for, and that was one of the stuff displays. And I really was excited. I'm like, stuff thing, you know, visuals.
And that is why there is a picture of me sitting on a pile of slimes, hugging a beanbag Rimuru.
Yes, that was also a fun
that
one
was
there
great.
too.
Yes.
Well, someone's kind of jumping ahead in what we might be covering too. But hold on, before that, yes, Tengen's also excited for the Shield Hero too. We'll come back to this comment, and because we'll be talking about a new show. Katie, what are some other things?
Yeah. It looks like I'm not sure if this is another season of Kaguya-sama Love is War, or if this is kind of a redo of it. It's season 2. I can never tell when it's a subtitle versus season 2, volume 2, etc. But
yes,
that's another one that they are really advertising. Kaguya-sama Love is War is just to my understanding, I haven't seen it, but I hear it is very good, high school rom-com where 2 incredibly intelligent students know that they like each other, and it's very much well, I'm not going to admit it. I'm going to make them admit it. And it gets wild.
I've seen the like closing song dance long before I knew what this show was, of somebody dancing to it. Oh, well, thank you, Tengen. It's actually season 3.
Oh, well, okay then.
Well, there you go.
I very obviously don't watch the show. But yeah, so it is another season. It's not a redo. Unlike our Madoka, where it's another season, but it's also a spin-off, but it's also something. I have no idea what's going on with Madoka canon, but I know there's a lot of it.
Madoka. Madoka. Yes, I'm so excited. No, it's okay. I just remember there were jokes when people said it that way. So that's why it's funny for me.
Yes, it's very Naruto of me.
How do you say Naruto?
Funny? Naruto.
Oh, I'm like, yeah. Fair. I'm like, wait, what?
So, Big Monday energy. Speaking of Naruto, continuing simulcasts, Boruto, One Piece, Dragon Quest, Case Closed, because Case Closed will never die. Ghost Game, which we all know I love, and the latest Pretty Cure. So, a lot of big names continuing on from winter.
Yes.
And then when I saw that this was coming, I texted Carrie and went, we're covering this for spring season.
Well, guess what?
Yeah. Yep. Made that unilateral decision, and Carrie, wonderful human being, is like, sure.
I was hearing good things. So yes, Tengen Spy. So is it Spy Family or X? Because it's like the joke with Hunter. Hunter, is it Hunter? I know it's not. Well, everyone's like, it's not Hunter X Hunter, but it's Spy
Hunter
Family.
Hunter. Who knows? I honestly don't know. Is the X silent? And I'm like, well, the question is, are you French? Yeah, for those who aren't familiar, Spy Family, Spy X Family, I'm going to go back and forth until we have a confirmation, is about a secret agent who has to go undercover as a family man whose fake wife is an assassin. He doesn't know she's an assassin. She doesn't know he's a secret agent, but their adopted daughter, who is a government experiment with psychic powers, sure has the entire story. So it's just shenanigans.
Tengen says the X is silent, but maybe not, because that's part of the joke considering the story itself.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have heard fantastic things about this manga, and I am very excited.
I'm excited too, because I think I remember when the manga first was coming out or something, and so it's exciting. It was exciting when I didn't get a chance to read it, but I remember it being a big deal. So, now it's being the anime of it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out. So also spring anime, just kind of quickly looking at dates for everybody coming in. So now available, there's March 23rd, April 1st, as all the way into about, where'd it go?
I think it's the 8th
through the
9th.
23rd.
Well, I'm good at this.
That's why we got two of us.
Yes, thank you.
And it's Monday energy always here.
I'm just here for half the pretty looks and all the stupid comments. That's what I'm responsible for.
April 23rd, the last one being added is A Couple of Cuckoos. It's a fun title. 16-year-old super studier Nagi Umino, a second-year student at the Meguro River Academy High School, was switched at birth. On his way to dinner to meet his birth parents, he accidentally meets the brash, outspoken Erika Amano, who is determined to make Nagi her fake boyfriend, as she never wants to actually marry. Okay, interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely some in this lineup that are like, this looks really interesting, and some in this lineup that are like, okay, you're gonna have to sell me on this one. So, and it's all a matter of taste.
Yes. Anime for everybody. Don't worry. There's plenty to choose from. If you check out new season anime, let us know what you're checking out. And I was going to say real quick, we're going to say it at the end, but let us know on the social medias what new anime you check out. And I was looking.
Tell us things. We like hearing from you.
Giga Derek says the X is silent unless it's in somebody's name.
So they are French.
So it is just like a visual thing rather than it's just like the look of it. That's fair. But it is one of those like,
why do you keep making, and for those going, why do you keep making French jokes? I learned a lot of French, and X is one of those things that, unless it's certain circumstances, that's one of those consonants that doesn't get pronounced. It's fun.
Yay. Well, you know what? And then if anybody asks, I'm like, come on, English. We have plenty of letters and things that you're like, how you spell things and whatnot.
English is one of those languages that beats up other languages and rifles through their pockets for spare vocabulary. It's it's a nightmare.
Okay, interesting. Tengen says A Couple of Cuckoos is two kids who were switched at birth, so their parents try to fix it by matching them together now that they're about to be adults.
Romantic comedy or psychological horror? You decide.
Right?
Like, it's
Giga
really
Derek says, so
Organization 13 is French. Happy 20th anniversary, Kingdom Hearts. What? Yeah, 20 episodes for us, 20 years for Kingdom Hearts, and I'm just kind of, when did that happen?
You're all, wait a minute.
I was playing this in high school. What?
So yes, let us know which ones you check out. I think I often, and then we've mentioned it before, but if you are new to joining our show, how many episodes do you like watching of a new show before you decide, yes, I'm going to keep going, or no? I'm about 3 to 5.
Same.
Because it's like most shows, you can't tell enough from the first episode. So it's like, let it get a little bit of rhythm before it's like,
And sometimes
and it's okay
shows
if you don't vibe with it. No need to be mean.
Yeah, and sometimes shows have like really weird pilot energy that evens out after a bit. Like Legend of Vox Machina, the first 2 episodes were extremely big pilot energy, and the third one was like, do you want to know what the tone of this show is and the stakes are? Here you go. It's like, oh my god, we have vampires now.
Or
watch Legend of Vox Machina. It's amazing.
I was gonna say, are we done with new anime? Because my
I think
cheesy
we
transition
are.
leads into. Speaking of tonal changes,
No, we have.
oh damn nabbit! But Rake of Kings, we have a tonal change. So hold
We
that
do.
thought of
That's
my
gonna be
bad
a
joke.
wild one.
There we go. So our other tonal change of
The newest Sakura Co box is here. Yeah, it's that same design. It's that same. I figured out how to angle it now so you can see like all the little beautiful foil
shiny.
highlights. It's
That's very
so
pretty.
cute. And of course, it showed up when I was wearing my Sakura dress, so I have all these
You're
photos
like,
of like, I matched the box.
that's cute.
But this is the April one. We are still very, very much in Sakura territory.
Yes.
Here we go. And of course, the beautiful inserts. They sent us this just great little card. Let's see if I can do this. It's hard to do this without the light
right?
hecking with
Get
the
it?
art, but the art on this is unbelievable. It's so pretty. And of course, that little booklet has the explanation for everything that's in here, all of the snacks, all of the nutrition information, and all of the allergens. And again, they make a very big deal out of listing all of the allergens and making sure they're known, which you really appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fantastic. But yeah, we have Sakura Daifuku, which this is going to be a weakness for me. These are going to be gone in a hot second.
You're like,
for anyone who
those are mine.
Oh, yeah. For anyone who was not here for the first unboxing, I love Sakura flavored stuff. Like, it's a weakness. It's so good. We have, of course, our green tea, our Sakura green tea. We have enough for 2 cups. We have just all sorts of just look at the wrapping on this, these beautiful little Sakura cookies. And other cookies. Again, it's hard to angle this for the camera so the light doesn't take it out. But look, there we can kind of see that. Sakura designs. Little baby Sakura petal designs on these cookies. They are...
Ooh, I like is that a tree?
Yep.
It's pretty. So my
They
screen's
are.
over here. If anybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking at my screen over there.
They're absolutely beautiful. We have buns, we have crackers, and then hidden in here somewhere, which I'm not going to dig out, there is a little tea plate, just a little tiny saucer that's going to be white, and it has Sakura blossoms painted on it.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, because again, what Sakura Co does is they include of course, I have to reassemble this box, and this is where the hard part comes in.
Here, wait. I'm going to take the banner down so we can see a little lower there, too.
Yeah, they include a piece of tableware. So last time it was a little glass with Sakura painted on it, and this time it's just a little saucer for you to like put your cookie on or put your tea bag on or whatever you want to use that for. But there's layers upon layers of stuff in here. There are so many snacks. And after I unboxed that last one, I kind of just tore it apart and ate everything in it. And it was incredible. There were a few things in there where it's like, I need an entire box of just this. Please tell me where I can obtain an entire box of just this matcha cookie.
Do they have a la carte options?
I don't know. But they do include in the booklet who makes the specific snacks, like the manufacturers, where they get them from.
That's smart, because then you could be like, I want that one thing.
So like it tells you, like the Sakura Manju, it tells you it's by Toraya. So you can go looking for the manufacturer and be able to obtain it on your own. I have not investigated whether you can do kind of a la carte options via their site, so I can't say one way or another for that, but they're so good, you guys. They are just so good. So yes.
I always like snacks.
Yes, that is the Sakura Co box for the month of April.
Snacks.
Yes. You still have time to order. I believe you've got the next few days, and if you order with a special code, and I think they have it like on their Instagram and whatnot. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but order with that special code, and they send you an extra little piece of tableware. So like those chopsticks that I got in my box last time, that was with the special code. Nice. So yeah, highly recommended. Good stuff. And then I will probably be on my Twitter yelling about the snacks that are my favorite once I tear this box apart too.
We always like snacks, things, and unboxings and letting people know this is the good stuff.
Snacks are life.
And then you can find her online.
Yeah.
There.
Yep, find
To
me
go see
here
those snacks.
where I will be having snacks from Sakurako because they are amazing.
Yes. Now back to my
Alrighty.
cheesy joke of changing tone, which was later episode, but on 12. But we're going to be talking episodes 10, 11, and 12. So please, no spoilers. You all have been fantastic about not getting ahead of us. This has been a nice set of episodes, and some shit got really dark.
It was already dark.
I know, but there were things that I'm like, oh, okay.
Just
yes.
cutting to the guy eating the rat in the dungeon to close out episode 11 was just like, oh, okay. Whoa.
So I think something that was exciting for me when we first are getting in episode 10 is our snake, Matsumata, is the one who taught Boji to lip read. I don't think I had recalled that was
that we didn't know that before.
So I'm like, what? So, okay, go figure. The snake knows how to lip read. And then also it's our snake Hydra of how to be so fast. Because we were like, I still think there's something more to it because that seems a little bit more than just training, but we'll just go with it's like super ninja status in terms of feel your surroundings. You don't need you need to feel it, not just see it, because it's hey, you're using your eyesight still. What do you think of that reveal?
I love this. I love our Hydra.
Yes.
Such
a sweet Hydra.
And God, the voice they have for him is perfect. Just perfect. But yeah, no, I appreciate this. I appreciate that we got that little bit of context, like, all right, where did this come from? How did he know to do this? And it also brings back to that scene we saw with him dodging all the snakes, and I was like, Bebin's trying to kill him. Nope. I did not have the context for that at the time. So I liked this.
Yeah.
I like that we get a little more from that. And I liked that we just had our Hydra and Bebin just having that little conversation and trying to put things in order and figure out what's going on. Like, again, this is a show constructed of 4-minute vignettes with an overarching theme. And I appreciated that one in particular.
Yeah, I really like them talking and just even discussing who do you think really should be king? And even the moment too where the Mitsumata has the essentially prediction, and Bebin's like, is this like an actual,
are you precognizant
or is it like just in your gut? And how Matsumoto's like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. And so I'm really curious to see where that goes. We got Tengen points out, Boji's so strong now with his rapier sword. Though I was wondering, would that be an epee sword? Because technically there's rapier, epee, and then foil. But based on the handle, I'm no fencing expert, so I cannot say. But looking at it, it looked more like an epee based on how his handhold was. Like that versus the one size. But if you know anything about fencing those kind of swords, leave a comment. But I was like, cool. I thought it was such a great sword for him. And absolutely makes sense of not bulk. And it's exactly what we're saying. If it's not what we think of, most people would think of as strong.
Yeah, he's definitely going for a style based more on his speed, which is what makes sense because that's what he's got going for him. Because we now know that he has been cursed by Satan. So, like, thanks, Dad. All-time list of great anime fathers. We got Gendo Ikari on there, and we got, Boss.
Tengen also points out that Mitsumata did say before that there were also many people who care for Boji, and not to forget that, which is true. That's a good point. I love the sword reveal and adorable Kage, like, dude, you lied to us. It's just a little tiny sword. It's like, no, it's all right. You just you wait.
And just the sort of, you need to have a little more faith in Boji. You're his ride or die. So get with the riding.
I also love the point with Despa, and he says something to the extent of, there's people who are going to laugh at you and make fun of you, but are you just going to put your head down every time? You need to believe in yourself. And I was like, life lessons in anime, thank you. I was like, that's true. Yeah, I like. There are, of course, many moments like that within the show, but I feel that one is one of the few that I'm like, ooh, that's a nice golden rule to live in life
Yeah.
too. I was like, you're right. Have confidence in yourself. I was like, thank
Yes.
you. So
It's
I
like,
thought that was
no,
adorable.
this is perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Though, oh my goodness, when we find out that part of that tavern brawl was planned, I was very disappointed. I was like,
wasn't.
you weren't?
Because the thing,
Okay.
no, because the thing is, it would have been one thing if it had been this is planned and them losing to Boji is planned if they had been faking
Yes,
it.
that's true.
But
I
it
just
was
had that
very
moment
much
where I'm
a
like, no, but then they're like, oh, hey,
yeah,
he's stronger
yeah.
than we expected.
And so they needed a moment for one to show Kage, for two to show the audience, but also for Boji to actually put his skills to the test. And this is Despa going, this is going to be, a solid challenge. This will work, words, stuff and things.
But also,
you know what I mean.
yeah, and also the fact that Despa's working with the captain, which I thought was cool.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
Oh, I love the
oh,
captain
I
so
love Captain.
much.
And I think, yeah, no, this is true. So Despa set up the guys attacking him, but not the Boji's skills. I think
Yeah.
it is a fair, fake, but real test because he doesn't know the outcome, but he does have someone go to attack. And I did
Yeah.
like the explanation of like hitting the needle instead of like poking and like, sure. And even like
I love
hitting,
anime bullshit. It's just we're watching that, and he puts the needle through his hand and goes, "See, I didn't hurt any of my
that
pain
would still
receptors."
hurt.
And I'm watching this with Megan, and she's like, "Yes, I shifted my internal organs," and I'm like, "That's what it is. It's that old
So,
anime.
no
I
problem.
moved my internal organs. It was fine." I'm like, no.
I'll go with it's along the lines of like pressure points pain.
Oh
Like
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, sure, but also I'm like, you poked a hole in your hand. You'd still be bleeding.
It's like, how did you avoid every single capillary
Yeah, I'm like,
with a needle that big? Like, buddy.
these are not the
But
droids you're looking for. Just keep moving. Yes.
and again, this
Yeah.
is a
Anime
show that
logic.
yes, and it explained itself.
Yeah.
It did not expect us to be like, oh, this is the real world, and then
Yeah.
this like, no. It's like, hey,
That's their rule.
we're gonna go a little nuts. He's having his training in the underworld, and evidently, I guess you can just leave the underworld and be alive again if you
Yes.
manage to get out.
Sure, yeah. Also, well, I also think their underworld is not like it doesn't seem to be
Dead people
you're dead. Yeah, it just
That's
seems
fair.
more like a place rather
under the
than
world.
like yeah, not literally you've died and gone there. Because also Boji and Kage just walk in there. You don't have to do anything. Oh, there was the poison. There was the poison
I
getting
mean,
into it.
there
But I
was a
meant, like-
murder gauntlet there, but
But it wasn't necessarily like you had to die to enter. You know?
that's fair.
Tengen says it's extremely
It's
extensively extreme acupuncture. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like
But yeah,
I do appreciate the hit the pressure points, put the
Yes.
force where you need to. Like you don't
Oh,
have
sure.
a lot of ability to cause force on your own, so you use your opponent's movements against them.
Yes.
We talked
which-
about Tai Chi last time. We talked about
Yeah, we said
martial
there's a
arts
few. Yep.
using your opponent's strength against them. So
Which makes
yeah,
sense.
why not?
And yeah, it's I appreciate when shows and movies like they might make up bizarre rules to us, but as long as they stick with it, we go, okay.
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah.
rules in this world. That's how it's gonna be. Okay, so this was speaking of other weird worlds and things. So then in episode 11, when we get Daida with Moranjo
In the
Darkness
sunken
World,
place.
in the sunken place,
In the sunken
I'm
place.
I'm now wondering, and again, please no spoilers, but based on that, it does feel like maybe some other entity affected Moranjo because she in the regular world has the like, hey, something happened and my heart feels lighter. So
Yeah.
that feels like did something happen to her as a child that her true essence is locked away in there, or is like her goodness locked away? It made me very curious and really interested.
Or is it Daida having access to all of her everything because
True.
of
Or that.
Miranja's role in all of this?
Or
I don't
that
know.
place taps into where she is connected to or something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
she died at some point and she's in a mirror, so like
well, do you think she
who
died?
knows? I feel like that was mentioned at some point. Yeah, she died in the war. That came up.
Right. They thought she had
Yeah.
died. Well, then
Yeah.
they were like, we thought you had died. But she also mentioned that most of her body is not her body
Fake.
anymore. So it
Because
could
and we
be
got
like,
that whole thing in the
yeah,
mirror where like they burned her face off and they took her
yeah,
hands. So it's
like
like,
they ripped her.
okay,
Yeah.
yikes.
So hashtag childhood trauma, indeed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
also those crazy the crazy people coming up to talk to her, Lil Miranda. Yes, that was super
But the
weird and
thing
creepy.
is,
Hmm.
we get this in episode 11, and then you look at the new opening theme in episode 12, where it shows a younger version of Moranjo and a younger version of the demon, dancing with the devil in the
Mm-hmm.
pale moonlight. So I'll be interested to see, because I thought this was just like we found a random demon and we made a deal with him. I will be interested to see what her
Mm.
connection is with that demon, and I wonder if something to do with that is what happened to the village. If something got out of
Maybe.
hand, if revenge was taken, or if an accident happened, and then
Yeah.
they turn around and went, "You were the start of this. You were the focal point. You were the
Mm.
catalyst. You caused
Mm.
us to die." So
Could be.
that's kind of my going theory. We
I
have
feel like
no evidence for any of this, but
no.
that's
Well,
the
the
theory.
other weird thing is it's Boss who gave Daida the mirror. And I was
Yeah,
like,
probably at Moranjo's
and
say
young,
so.
and a young version of him. And I did, okay, I have a little more faith in our little annoying prince because even he gets to that point where Daida's like, yeah, I suck. I've been an idiot. I'm a fool. My brother and I, we got along. And then this mirror person gets introduced to my life, and I totally believe them on everything. And that's what made me start not liking my brother. And so I was like,
Yeah,
and
and also like
we have self-reflection.
well, and also
Mirror.
him
Anyway.
growing past Boji and
Yes.
going, "Oh, well, everyone thinks that you're an idiot and you're
Yeah.
small and pitiful and oh, I need to protect you now." It's that very toxic thinking of this person is disabled and therefore this person needs to be put away, needs to be protected, needs to be
Yes.
like
Or
baby.
eliminated what he said too when he went
There's
to
this
town.
there's this
Mm.
extremely toxic mentality when it comes from abled people about disabled people.
Yeah.
And that's a real life thing that needs to be discussed. Maybe not by us, because I certainly don't have the context or experience to talk
Yeah.
about it in an educated manner. But I do appreciate that we very much got this in the show and that Bebin and I cannot remember his name, but one of the other guys,
Oh yeah, the other guy.
we
Like,
don't see him much,
yeah.
basically took him to town and went, yeah, so do you think that this guy who is blind and deaf, do you think that he should be dead? Because that's what you're
Mhm.
saying, that you'd rather be dead. Do you think that his life is that much worse than yours? Do you think that you don't have the strength to, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a good wake up call for Daida. Very much taking the hypothetical out of it and being like, nope, here's a real life human being.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
wanna try and apply those hypotheticals to this real life human being? And Daida kind of going, like
He's like, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I appreciate that life
yeah,
lesson that they're like, we should take you to town.
yeah,
Quick little thing. Speak of the opening. Tengen says no spoilers, but the second opening, which happens in episode 12, is the second opening has many hints that you won't realize until they're revealed. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, Daida was given a fresh taste of perspective. Indeed. I appreciate also that there are people in his life that really do want him to succeed, though. And I'm really hoping that this time where he's been stuck here is kind of a turning point where he can go, I mean, he has said it, but the question is, does he
Yeah.
follow through on going, I should
feel like
be
by
different
the
to Boji.
I feel like by the time he gets out of
I
here,
hope so. I really hope
and it
so.
is entirely possible that it will be Boji who gets him out of there because we had that
Aha.
Pandora's box dream. So,
That would be fun.
who knows? None of this is enough for me to put on the conspiracy board
No.
and start like
Yeah.
putting thread around, but
Yes.
we're thinking about it.
Yes.
There's got to be like an online conspiracy board generator somewhere where I can actually like start putting one of these together. Because I don't want to physically do it because I really don't want to try to hang anything off of what is essentially a paper screen, but like I kind of want one. I kind of want
really
one.
Cool idea. They could just put
That
stuff in and it's like
is.
here.
I don't know if that exists. How would you program that? Anyway,
Don't know.
nice little cul-de-sac there.
I like that the show is giving us little pieces and it's so vague but specific that you're like, I don't know how this is attached. I don't know where this is going, but it's not too vague where you're like, I'm just confused and lost. You're just kind of like, this is important. I need to hold on to this information. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
We have all the I say we have all the pieces. That's not true. We don't have all the pieces, but I feel like we've got some corners, we've got some edges, and we've got a few chunks of the middle. We don't have the picture of the box for this puzzle to start putting things together, but we are able to go, oh, wait, we made a contract with Satan.
Yep.
The opening tells us that she knew Satan when they were both young. Coincidence? I was like, okay, maybe those pieces don't necessarily snap together, but they're close enough in color that there's probably a connecting piece or two between them.
And I don't know if you said it, but then I wonder if part of Miranjo's like being blamed for something is she was misled as well because
Possibly.
she has it's not my fault. I didn't, like she's not acting like I made a mistake, but it's more just something happened and then this was done to her. We don't know if she's playing a victim card of like she's just evil and then like, oh no, they tried to get me, but it's like I want to know. I also want to know what's under that mask.
My current guess is that something got out of hand.
Yeah.
That she may have
out of both her hands.
She's certainly out of hands at that point, that she and or Satan may have been trying something, experimenting, maybe even trying to do something good, and then things just went sideways, and because she started it, she was blamed. Hence the you did this versus it's not my fault. Or she tried to do something and then Satan screwed it up because he's Satan.
Yeah.
I know it's not actually Satan. I know it's a demon, but we're calling him Satan.
He looks like it.
Big red horn dude.
Our mythology of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So until we get a name for Demon 5A, he's just going to be Satan
Big
for a
red
while.
Demon. Yeah. I feel it's close enough. With King Desha, I thought it was really interesting with him doing his job. Like before we had seen him being so kind of like meh to Boji and stuff, but seeing him
Petty.
and very immature, but to see him like prisoners have escaped, we need to do this and we need to take. I was like, okay, all right, a little more respect for him now. And also some of the stuff, I kind of wonder if we get a little more backstory on him maybe later too. Not that I need one, but speaking of like, because we got Daida's backstory essentially now in this episode of him as a child. I'm like, aha, we were wondering about it, and here it comes. So I'm wondering if Desha gets something too.
But it doesn't surprise me that we get these bits of like, yes, he's competent. Yes, he's doing his job. He's the king of the underworld. There's this big prison that he is in charge of.
Yes.
I mean, you don't get to be number 2 in the ranking of kings by doing nothing.
This is true.
Even if the ranking of kings is based on sheer ridiculous strength alone, there does have to be some metric of competence or you lose your kingdom. Because we do see like, okay, these fugitives have been brought to the kingdom of Boss or they've gone there. Well, also, the kingdom of Boss doesn't have a strong figurehead right now. So we're just going to take it.
Because you're also told to do so.
Wait, what?
Well, that Miranda is like, go ahead, do whatever you want.
Oh no, I'm talking
Oh.
about Dessa saying, yeah, when you get there to bring the fugitives
Oh,
back,
that too.
you're
He
also going to
doesn't know
take
that
over the
that's
kingdom.
happening. True.
Oh no,
He's also trying to take over. So I do like this
Yeah.
convergence of everybody trying to get in there and take
well,
over.
it makes sense with Boss no longer being alive.
yeah,
There's kind of
no.
that power vacuum that
Yeah.
Daida can't really step into.
Yeah.
Like, if they're even with Daida King, even if we hadn't had like the resurrection of Boss, he had enough good people around him that the kingdom probably could have stayed upright. But
Yeah.
Miranjo just digging it out from underneath everyone. It's like, well,
I think I was conflating Desha and Miranjo's bandits, even though
Yeah.
they are technically, that is the connection between them.
Yeah.
They are not operating on the same page.
No, Dessa's like, you need to put those back. Put that thing back where it came
So-
from, or so help me.
What do you think then when we get Captain talking with Kage and Boji on their way back, and they're kind of like, "Hey, what's happening?" And I think Captain's gonna tell them, like,
I don't
what?
think so.
No. Well,
The
he'll keep
question
them
for
safe.
me, yeah,
He
the
won't hurt
question
them.
for me is whether he follows orders.
Oh, okay.
What the
Well, then-
over under is on that. Because on the one hand, you're the captain of the guard for the underworld. You are the number one guy under the number two king. So big deal. Loyalty being very much a faction there. Like, you don't get that high up in the ranks without loyalty on top of strength, ability, competence,
Yes.
etc. But the flip side of that is he likes Boji. He was impressed by Boji. And Boji has also been trained by Despa. And like, as far as we can tell, he also likes and respects Despa.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, here is Despa's student, here is this kid who impressed me, and we're going to go take his kingdom out from underneath him.
Yeah, because he clearly looks like he feels bad that he's lying to them, like omitting the information. So I think, maybe either he will tell them, or like you're saying, will he follow the orders? Which I don't think so. I think he's going to, I don't know if he would necessarily flip sides and like leave his job to be with Boji, but he could, like they also say like Boji is his strength is also drawing people to him in a way. So I'm like,
I think he'll follow orders and we'll have a rematch.
That would be interesting.
We'll see. Again, I keep wanting to be like, I'm going to put a pin in that one, but like, no, it doesn't go on the board. That's just my prediction.
Not yet. Yeah.
I need to just start keeping lists of wild, off-the-cuff predictions. Do this like Game Grumps. Throw everything at the wall and then something will stick and people will think I'm psychic.
Anyway. We have the commander of the Order of the Underworld, which is Oken, which is the other rat-eating prisoner. Which is interesting. So he's commander versus captain. So I'm like, okay. Which was I was like, where'd it go?
We have that. We have him. We have the king. We have the ogre. We have the rogue. And we have the red. The guy who's named after the color of his hair.
Yes. There's also I'd say the brunette, even though it's like.
Yeah.
It's brunette and the red.
He's the one that struck me as the rogue type. He, to me, strikes me as the one who can think sideways around the situation. And he's also the one that figured out, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go too nuts down here around all the frozen monsters and this mirror person. Like, maybe we shouldn't fuck around here so as not to find out. You know?
Oh, wait, I think that was Zoku, the leader. Considered the leader one. The brunette was the one with the big ass sword and like tried to kill the puppets.
How many of them do we have? I thought we had 5.
Zoku is the leader. Gigan, I had to write it down because there's no way I'd remember this. Gigan for steel. Kingbo, which is the fallen king who gets killed. And then there's the brunette assassin black and copperhead assassin red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But technically 4 because our no 6.
No, because there's an ogre in there.
That's Gigan.
That's Gigan. That's a huge guy.
Yes. But
too many new characters all at once. I'm always bad at names. It's just
But
But
we
that
also
was the
get this
one
moment.
guy with a brain in his head.
Yeah, that Oaken, yes. And Oaken guy is also a weirdo. Yep, the guy in the suit of armor whom Miranja freed from the underworld is weird AF. Agreed.
And we
He
had
is,
that little bit from Dessa talking about how Oaken is capable of essentially things that were locked away. Like,
yes.
there's this weird power, and we don't want it to make
Yep.
it to the surface.
Yep.
Yikes. And that, I think, is that freezing power. But also, notice when he, like, we had the little clash, and then he walked away and screamed at the pillar for a little bit.
Yeah,
And,
it's
that
like-
was great. It's like, we're going to have a little bit of
refocusing.
anxiety on the pillar, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to commit a long, slow murder. And notice that he froze him and then took out
as he watched it too. I
and
was
then
like,
took out the tendons at the wrists and the ankles so that he couldn't grip a sword, couldn't
Yep.
stand, and then just stabbed him a bunch and let him bleed out.
Yep.
And that's when we got the drive-by
Like-
backstory for that guy. Like 15 seconds of, this is where he came from.
oh,
Is this going to be relevant? Is he alive? Did we just yeet him off the side and then he's alive?
well, there
Someone
is
found
a
him.
moment when
I think, was it Bibbin that found him on the other side of the wall?
I think it's where did it go? I wrote down I question mark is he killed because I think Bevan finds him and
Yeah.
his hand moves. So he might not
Yeah.
be dead. But did you think in his flashback that it was the Feral King that Boji found that maybe killed his family? Because it looked similar. But I was like, I
didn't
can't
think
tell.
of that. Because we know that king, was raising him to be the next king and then went bug nuts. So again, watching it with Megan, and her theory was, did he become number one king and then went nuts and killed everyone? Because we have that bit of world building where the number one king gets to pick something out of the God Vault and then they either go mad or they disappear. So, yeah. I mean,
Somebody with the
maybe it is the
king-
Feral King and he went mad and he disappeared into the woods. Who knows?
Yeah.
That would be something to go back and check.
Yeah, the fallen king, Kingbo. I
What a
almost read it
name.
Kimbo, and I'm like, what? No, Kingbo. With his flashback, I wrote down a Feral King flashback. We got a good comment from Gigadare. Don't worry, there's no way all these new characters are making it very far.
We're already down one.
Well,
kind
one died already in this episode, so very
Question
fair,
mark?
very fair. Yes, question mark dead. Okay. Tengen says it's only implied but not revealed outright, but Kingbo is also the son of the crazy king whom Boji met back in episode 4. Okay, so that's what I thought. So, okay.
Nuts.
I
Holy
thought it
cow.
looked like him.
I wonder if that's why we got. Good.
Oh, I didn't think that was his father, but that makes sense that his dad was like, hey, do this. And then his dad went crazy and then killed everybody. I just thought it was some rando, but it makes more sense that, he was connected. But it was the Feral King guy.
That makes the drive-by backstory make so much more sense. If it was very much a connection to, okay, remember when we met the Feral King, did a two-step under the pale moonlight, and then saw the Soul Hoover? That guy! Like, okay.
Yeah.
This is a really weird little world we're in. Just the world building in this show is absolutely incredible. Top notch. Was calling it like Miyazaki by way of Game of Thrones. And again, like, I have extensive conversations with my roommate. If you watch my YouTube channel, you see we get into this analysis. And her commentary, which I thought was really smart, was, no, it's not like Game of Thrones, because in Game of Thrones, you know what everyone wants. They are very clear about what they're trying to do. For here, again, one of the biggest things is, what the heck is Boss's plan? How is he playing this? What is he doing?
Plan.
Yeah, we know what Miranja's plan is. She wants to burn everything to the ground.
Well,
or at least she says she wants to burn everything to the ground.
But Zoku, like, when she's doing stuff, he's like, what does she want? But also it's the why, like, just because they were mean to her and hurt her, it's like, can we get more context?
Well, and I think Boss sacrificed his relationship with her in pursuit of
Yes.
becoming stronger and having his own kingdom. And then, like, he marries these two other women that he falls in love with. And she's like, "Excuse me? Is my sexy puppet body not good enough for you? What are we
Also,
doing?"
weird thing with that I need more context that I'm like, so also we made her a child puppet body essentially too.
I
Uh
don't know if child or just short, because we did see that
well,
she wasn't a very tall person
when she
when
hugs
she was
Apis,
alive.
her hands are really small and her body's just, I mean, yes, she could just be a very small person.
I kind
But
of think that's what's going
when
on here.
it felt too childlike when she was hugging Apis of like, I'm very fond of you. And I'm like, you look like a child hugging this man saying, I'm very fond of you. And I'm like,
I think
okay.
that that's
But
meant to be. I think that either she made her body or someone made it for her
yeah,
when
it's
she
possible
was
too.
still younger, because we
Yeah.
saw when she was very young was when she had the mask and no hands.
But
So I
wait,
think that
anime doing a
someone
theme of an older person in a young person's body? Never. They would never do that.
who does that? It's not like we
Anime.
have a King Boss
Ugh.
over here or anything. Uh,
Well,
it's the
it is a
worst
bit
kind of Yu-Gi-Oh!
different when it's a younger lady, because then it is very much the lowly vibes. I'm like, I'm waiting. But it just makes me think of that a little bit. That I'm like,
She's 967 years old. She only looks like she's 12.
yeah, I know.
Uh,
I was like, but she doesn't.
anyway,
But it's okay.
not
But
talking
Apis,
about that, but
speaking of
I
that
think
though,
that
go ahead.
just finishing that thought, I think that that body was created when she was younger and
Yeah,
then it was just not updated. So
sure.
I don't see it as a child body, but I do see it as like maybe when she was a teenager, but she was always going to be a very small, very young looking adult because part of her features were essentially frozen in time because of the
Mm-hmm.
injuries she suffered.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't I see that as creepy in more of a horror movie
Yeah,
way
that's true.
and less of a social way because again,
Mm.
we're dealing with all sorts of magic and weird shit and she's only vaguely alive kind of and also in a mirror. So who knows, man? Who knows? But I read that as a different kind of creepy.
Yeah. Giga Derek says repressed childhood trauma, maybe? Yes, maybe.
I don't think it's
Um,
repressed.
we'll see. We need more, but that's the thing. We need
Yeah,
more context. It's like based
yeah.
on that, it's like it's very vague. But I was saying also Apis, like what is his motivation now too? Because I'm like, does he want to protect her like a child, as a loyal subject? It's interesting that he seems so like devoted to working for her that I was like,
Sometimes if you
yeah.
are, and again, I'm speaking in like purely fictional terms here because I'm not qualified to talk about this in real life terms.
Mm,
But in terms of fiction, sometimes you have a character who is very broken, very unhappy, very messed up. And then they run into that one person who is like, no, I see you. I still care about you, even if you think you're broken. I still, just that
mm-hmm.
one lifeline. And when that's played like a good thing, that's when you have those really good partnerships. That's when you have those ride or die friendships or relationships or romances. But it
Mm-hmm.
can also be predatory and fucked up. And I think what we have here is in these flashbacks, we have Apis at a very low point because we've seen
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people kind of have psychological breakdowns about disappointing King Boss. So I think we have Apis at a very low point and
Mm-hmm.
Moranjo being the one to, oh, yeah, no, I understand you. I get it. And that's what cements that ride or die for
Mm-hmm.
Moranjo. So I don't think his loyalties to the kingdom, I don't think his loyalties to the king, in much the same way that, and I forgot his name, the bodyguard, in much the same way that his priority is
Oh,
Hillig
Dorsch?
above Dorsha. Thank you.
Yeah.
In much the same way that Dorsha's priority is Hillig above everyone else,
Yeah.
Appius's priority is Moranjo.
Also, side note on healing, man, her ready to go to battle. I like her in
I love
her
her.
armor. I was like, yes. She's like, I'm gonna do something. I'm like, all
I'm
right,
very scared.
get it.
I need her to not die. Please
Yes.
don't kill the healer. Bad things happen. You
Uh,
need your white mage.
Gerga Derek says, I'm thinking we only see the child, her at the moment in the shadow realm with the adult her later. That's possible too.
Fair.
Because this what we see of her is often not actually her. So I'm like, well, we'll see. Because it's, what's been created for her or a representation rather than her actual self. So,
Yeah. And I
um,
also think, given what we have between, yeah, I know you're going to go after Hilling, and that's fine, and the strategy, I think that Miranjo is fully willing to burn the country to the ground in order to get Hilling back in her clutches and kill her. Like, I don't
mm,
think this is specifically, I hate this kingdom and everything it stands for. I think it's very much, I'm going to take this down because this is the bait that will snap the trap on the queen. Like,
that's
I
possible.
don't think that, I think that taking the kingdom down is just gravy for her.
Yeah. Tengen says Hilling made a big turnaround since the start of the show. True that. That's the
Yes.
character that I'm like, I don't know about you, and like you're kind of mean, and like I don't get it. And then it's like, oh, okay. I mean, though, to our defense, she does have some bad behavior, and she's doing it for good reasons, and so that makes it
Yeah.
complicated, but still like
And again, she
okay.
also, because she taught Daida the, your brother is small
Mm-hmm.
and weak and not intelligent, so
Mm-hmm.
you need to protect him. So you
But
can,
she's like, you
you,
need to protect him, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
but that's still some, that's, grade A ableism baked in there. And then
yes.
one of those things where it's like, I don't think she realizes that, but that's not a good thing. And again, we also go back to pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that she was not nobility before Boss
Mm-hmm.
showed up and made her a diamond out of a stick.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah,
I think that like there's problems. She's very flawed. She's also doing the best she can.
yeah. But that is a character turnaround that I
Oh yeah.
pleasantly that they've made me feel differently for her.
And also just
Um,
Boji like remembering his home and for a little bit
yeah,
thinking that Hilling might have been the one behind the
yeah.
assassination attempts. And then a little later on going, wait, no, she actually really loves me. She was determined to mom the hell out of me. Yeah, we're going home.
I like Kage's like, I need to say something to motivate him. You coward! And it's like, don't you have the courage? And then Boji's like, okay, you're right. And you're like, because it's the tough love to get someone to do it. And you're like, all
Yeah.
right, fine.
Hmm.
Was there anything else over these episodes that we didn't get to? I mean, we have Domas and Hokuro
Doing their training.
doing their training, and they're gonna wait for a signal. But that was kind of about
Yep.
it with them. So
Yep. We
um,
have I'm going to burn this mother to the ground. We have Despa getting left behind because his ill tempered horse is out of
that
shape
too.
and was not able to carry him. And also Despa just like, no, I never learned to understand Boji. Like,
Oh, I did like that. He's like, I didn't know, but I could just tell on your face. Like, I could just tell how you
yeah.
were. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cute.
It's like
Because I
you are
was wondering
faking it
too.
super hard.
I was like, how do you know? But it's like, he's all, I can tell that, you. And, oh,
Yeah.
he also said the thing, again, these like little nuggets. I'm like, this is going to be important later. He was saying what we had been saying, but I know I was saying too, is the way Boji is affected by his own life of how he approaches life is like his superpower
Hmm.
because Despa's like, you see the world differently, you have to approach it differently, and that makes you unique in a good way. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is gonna come back later.
Because again, we have everything based on physical strength. And when you
Mm-hmm.
have Boji and Kage, two good boys encouraging each other. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Two good boys doing good.
Yes, we all need
Yeah.
cheerleaders.
But again, I keep coming back to this point of this entire everything is built on physical strength. The ranking
Yep.
of kings and the entire idea of that, yes, but also specifically the kingdom of
Mm-hmm.
Boss and Boji's life was shaped by his father's
Mm-hmm.
pursuit of strength. So you have someone who is physically unable because he's straight up cursed
Yes.
to take part in that pursuit of physical strength the way that the kingdom and God and everyone thinks about it.
Yep.
So he has to go sideways.
Yeah.
And we have Bebin who thinks sideways. We have this brand new villain who thinks sideways. And it's showing us that thinking sideways can keep you alive, and thinking sideways can definitely be a good thing. A lateral approach to a
Yes.
problem as opposed to a head-on one.
Yeah. So
The
we're just
other
gonna have
thing
to wait
is
and see. But
Hilling recognizing the mirror when she sees it. Just like, where have I seen that before? Which tells me that she's seen it in Dida's room and that she had no idea Miranjo was in there.
Yeah.
And if
I don't
Miranjo's
think she
out for her blood, like, of course, Miranjo would just be like, and we're hiding.
Yes. it's
Queen's
like,
in here, bye-bye.
So what? Yep.
And of course, told Dida not to tell her. It's like, this
Of
is
course.
just your little
This is a
secret,
secret
between
between
your
you.
dad and you and me. Don't tell your mom. I
It's
will
like,
say the bit in the opening that hit me, and I got to go back and watch that opening again, is that back-to-back-to-back sequence of parenting where I'm trying to remember what the third one was. I think it might have been Kage and his mother, but we
do
saw
see that.
But we
I think
saw
somewhere.
Boji with Hilling, and then we saw Dida with Miranjo in the mirror. So just that who parented this kid and the parallelism and the reflections that we have there. It's a very well put together opening. Beautiful art style.
Do need to rewatch it. I like the songs too.
Yeah.
They were nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes when they change songs on a show and you're like, or needs to grow on you.
Yeah.
So, alrighty.
I mean, if you really want to throw the golden apple of Discord into the middle of something, ask people what their favorite Full Metal Alchemist opening is.
That's fair. Well, yeah, it just depends on what vibe and tone you like better on different stuff. All right.
Oh, yeah, but people will fight over which one's the best.
Oh,
I will throw down for Melissa every single time.
I would have to see them or listen to them side by side that I'm like, I don't know if I have a favorite. I just remember the one that I was like, ooh, there's no way to top that was I really liked the first opening for Attack on Titan because I'm like, that was the most epic.
Yeah.
The other ones just aren't the same. They're not bad.
Honestly, I liked Wings of Freedom better, the second one.
It didn't get me pumped
the Sasageo. That like that first one, that it has that opening line hits you like a freight train. But like Wings of Freedom though.
Yeah.
And like that Ready Steady Go. Ready Steady Go is a bop, and that's also what got me to buy the L'Arc-en-Ciel Revelation CD at Media Play, which tells you how long ago that was. Ready Steady Go is great. I prefer Melissa.
Okay. I could not
never
tell
seen
you
Brotherhood?
off the top of my head.
I've never seen Brotherhood. No.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've watched regular and Brotherhood, and I'm like, I still don't think I could tell you which opening I like better.
I watched OG. I think it was 03 was when it was released, and I've read the manga, so I know what happens. I was part of that big waiting for the final chapter to drop group when we all kind of went a little nuts. Live Journal. We were still on Live Journal at the time.
Well, towards the end of our show here, any things we're excited about of stuff you should check out. I was visiting family this weekend in Vegas, so I didn't watch anything. Well, not on anime TV stuff. If you ever go to Vegas, Cirque du Soleil Ka is a fantastic and probably the most incredible stage production you'll ever see because the actual stage, what they do is like, but yeah, if you ever end up going, that is a highly recommend one. But Katie, anything you've been watching or reading?
Yeah, I've heard that Ka is amazing.
Or it's just that kind of a Monday, and we'll go into where people can find it.
This past week has just been one long work project, so it has once again been just like watch a lot of YouTube afterwards and then lie on the floor and not think about it. So we're going back to recommending one of the YouTube channels that I follow that you should watch. And this time around, we're going to talk about Folding Ideas. For those of you who were familiar with Channel Awesome, Folding Ideas was a channel that I don't know if I don't want to say originated on there because I don't know enough about the history. He was hosted there for a little while. The host is Dan Olson. The older videos have the host being like a puppet, but it's him, the writing, the scripting, etc. He goes into a lot of the older videos go into narrative tropes, go into analysis of a specific piece, but his more modern videos are the ones that I love. The most recent one that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with is, I believe it's called Line Go Up, and it is a 2-hour explanation of cryptocurrency and NFTs and why they're all a bad thing. But it is the most in-depth but understandable explanation of cryptocurrency I have yet to see. Like, I watched that and I get it now. He's got a great voice. He does incredible research, and he just kind of talks about what he wants to talk about. There's
Hmm.
no one, this channel is about this. He's
Hmm.
got a great video about a flat earth documentary that duped every scientist that was asked to appear in it, and they didn't know until afterwards. He
Hmm.
has a video about Bakshi's Lord of the Rings movie and what went into that happening and how Bakshi's style played into it. My personal favorite ones are The Book of Henry and The Art of Editing and The Snowman. And these are both, it's fun to watch him sit there and just dissect a movie that's not great
Hmm.
because he has such a good time with it and he has such great little jokes and you can see that he's having a good time with it. So just his video on The Book of Henry is hysterical because The Book of Henry is kind of a weird little train wreck of a movie,
Hmm.
but the way he goes through it, it's one of my favorite videos just to put on and listen to, and it just makes me happy. And the flip
Yeah.
side of that is The Art of Editing and The Snowman. The Snowman being
Hmm.
that crime thriller that was released a
I was
decade ago. The
oh,
one,
maybe.
yeah, the
Yeah.
one that was not extremely
Oh,
well localized, that had a lot of production issues, and what everyone remembers is the notes with the little snowmen on them that were in the marketing. Mr.
yes.
Policeman, you could have saved her. I gave you all the clues.
Yes.
Uh,
That
his
was
breakdown of that,
yeah. I'm
his
like, wait, I think I
breakdown of
did see
that
that.
is amazing because it's talking about the editing, how it plays into the story,
Yeah.
but also just the fact that it's all a little wild, that things did not come together for this movie.
Yeah.
So the channel is Folding Ideas. If you want a good idea of how he does things, again, Book of Henry and The Art of Editing and The Snowman. The NFTs video is very comprehensive and very good.
Hmm.
And just, it's a great channel. It is a
Nice.
great channel.
Tengen suggests Kotaro Lives Alone is a new anime on Netflix. It seems like it's just harmless slice of life show, but it is actually really deep and heartfelt. Very sad too.
The last
Like,
time I fell for one of those, it was My Neighbor is a Cat, and it emotionally hamstrung me. Great anime. I didn't expect to cry that much for something that's called My Neighbor is a Cat.
well, it's like Rengi Kings too. There's been parts where it's just seeing them be emotional. I'm like, oh, I didn't think I'd be as emotional on this show too. So it
Like
happens. Yeah.
My Neighbor is a Cat was marketed as like, this guy lives alone and he's kind of a shut-in, but he finds a stray cat and the cat adopts him as much as he adopts the cat, and they learn from each
Aw.
other, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet and adorable. It opens with his parents' funeral.
Oh, fun.
So like, this is a show that pulls
You're
no
oh,
punches.
okay.
It's a great show. I loved it. There are
Mhm.
definitely comedy beats, but it's not just this guy is a shut-in. It's also this guy is dealing with a very immense personal tragedy and doing his best to get through it. So
Yeah.
like,
Huh.
wow. And then the other half of the show is from the point of view of the cat, which is
Yeah.
also great and also very sad. Like, holy cow.
Giga
Woof.
Derek says, I don't have anything new, but going back and watching Code Geass again.
Have
All right.
fun.
It's nice sometimes to go back and revisit stuff. But
Yeah.
speaking of that, time to go revisit things. Speaking of, revisit us next week on next Monday.
Yeah.
That was not as
For-
good of a transition. It's okay.
For episode 21, when the show is old enough to drink.
Yay! That really would be like a full nighttime. Yeah. Anyway, nerd bar.
Yeah, it's when we start bringing out the booze instead of just the water.
Woo! Tengen also mentions Kotaro. Oh, Kotaro is similar to My Neighbor's Cat, and it seems innocent, but tackles hard issues. Those are always fun though too, when it's like you don't know, and it just depends if you're ready for it. But anyway,
I was
thank
not
you.
ready for My Neighbor is a Cat.
Like,
I was not prepared.
Those happen too. Of like, wait, what am I watching? Yeah. Well, thank you. Speaking of watching, thank you for watching us here. And if you watch live, thank you so much for joining us in the live chat. Oh, well, since it's 21, Gigadary says, I'll have the rules about the drinking game set by then. I dig it, man.
I
would
look
love
forward
see-
to it.
I look very forward so much. I'm like, okay, I want to see what it is. But
Every
yeah,
time Katie tries to make fetch happen.
I don't want to even guess ahead of time what my behaviors and things are, but I bet there's a plenty. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Comment down below your thoughts on the different topics we've discussed, what spring anime you're excited about, and
Yeah.
there we go. Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. It's over here. Once again, the Twitter is currently the most active thing because everything got put on hold last week for the day job. So we're working on stuff.
Well, looking ahead, Giga Derek says every conspiracy board mentioned.
Oh God.
You're like,
Yep. Seriously, if there is a conspiracy board generator online, like, link me. I need to know.
Girl, please.
I need it in my life. I will make a Ranking of Kings conspiracy board and a Demon Slayer one, and I will put them online so people can look at them and go, "What are you doing with your life?"
I was one of the ones that I would almost suggest is the mirroring because I'm like, we're getting better.
Yeah.
I'm like, here it is, but I'm like, what's gonna happen?
Where's the thing?
I was like, I was adjusting my necklace because it moved, and then I'm like, it's backwards. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is. I know it's the end, but I was just like, oh, it looks off center now that I can see the Anyway,
yep.
Yes, you all can find me over here. There we go. Carrie D Lane, KARIDLANE, on all the interwebs and things. I played at it was called the Container District in Vegas. It's over by Fremont Street, which I highly recommend. It's very fun and kind of a newer spot where it's industrial containers, but it's now also shops and restaurant, and they have a big playground in the center. And I went down the slides and I filmed video of that, so I'll be putting that on my TikTok eventually because I was like, yes, I will go down the giant slides. This looks awesome.
Cute.
It was very fun. I was like, we all need to let go and be little kids and not. It's like, just do it. Just have fun.
Look, I miss having a park with a swing set near my apartment. I haven't had that in years, and I miss it.
Also, check out here on the Fanversation channel, there's an interview that I did with Yael Teagle with Danishka Esterhazy. She's the director on a couple episodes of Astrid and Lily Save the World, so you can go check out that interview here on the Fanversation channel. I'm like, I don't really know where I'd point for that, but here on the channel, so go check that out.
Around.
Yes, around. But
okay.
Thank you for. I'll tell you a joke after on what that is, or why that's funny. Thank you again so much for joining us. We'll be seeing you next week for episode 21.
Yeah.
And then stay tuned for our coverage when it starts coming out of Spy Family. So be on the lookout. And yes, message us on the social medias. There, that way. Yes. All right. See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.